Well, good morning my YouTube friends, it's Margaret here from M.E.s Orchids, and what am I doing this Sunday morning? I've had a request from one of my subscribers to say how do you actually water your mounts, and this is what I do with the big ones. I bring them into the bathtub. That's the Cattleya Pastoral Innocence, and there's Docrelia, that's Plicatile. That is the Primulinum. That's just a little mounted no ID Nobly. That's my Hieroglyphica, my Alcoglossum, and so on and so on. And this is the no ID Fowl, and this is the big Aries Falcata. And I always bring the small Cattleyas in, this one especially because this is in stone, and this is one of the little mounts, and we've got another little mount here, this little Cattleya here, LC Tropical Pointer, and usually I try and put them as I want to water them. And that's the Plicatile there, that's the big one. These here, that one, this one, if I just get up for a minute, they come over to the sink here, and this is where I water the small amounts here in the sink. And the reason I water them in the sink is I've just got control over them. And there's that Phalaenopsis amboyensis. And this is the big one, this is the Epicattleya Alatilio Santa Maria. And you know, there's nothing to it really. I just I've got this big pump here, and that's just got ordinary rainwater in it, and I've got this one here, and that has a fertiliser in it, and that just has a calcium fertiliser in it. And usually all I do is pump it up. These are not so bad. I have to watch the little one here, which I'll show you what to do with that in a minute. That's the Phalaenopsis hieroglyphica, and when I come to that one I'll show you in a minute. But basically I just pump it up here, as you do. Try and get some strength into it. And here we go. Now that's a little bit fierce. Let's see if I can. That's more of a spray. You won't see this spray now, but I can tell you that the spraying it is. If I just turn it back onto that other one, you might see. And you'll hear it anyway. And these here, I don't have to worry about any water going on their leaves. Basically I'm aiming for the roots. But this one here, which I'll pull up now and take over to the sink area, and I'll bring this one over here as well. This is the one that I put on the little scrunch bowl, and that's Laelia lobata. And that's doing very well. It's sent the roots down into that sphagnum moss in there, but of course we've been in the winter months, so I've had to be very, very careful of not to overwater that. And let's pump away. And here we go. Same with this one here, on this mount here, and this one here. Now I have to be a little bit careful with this one because this is a Phalaenopsis. And usually what I do with this one, and I can't do it because I've not got my third hand. But what I usually do is just hold it up. It maybe won't let me hold it up that way, and you see, I just point it towards the roots. And what I have to make sure with this one, and it's quite handy being in the bathroom, because I just get a piece of toilet paper and there we go. See what I mean? So it never actually gets water in the crown or in between the leaves. And that's how I water it. They're all hydrated, those roots are now. So that'll go back over here. And the same with this one, the little Phalaenopsis here. And just let me pump it again. I'm sure there's a better way with this one because it holds a lot of water, but I always seem to have to pump a lot more. Now this one, because it's got that flower forming just there, can you see there? I'm very reluctant to get any water near that at all, and those little tiny roots there, I go very, very gently, very gently. And that's it with that one. There's actually no water at all come anywhere near that crown. And now this one here, just on top of the taps, this is a little Dendrobium tetragonum. There's that little growth there. Now this one doesn't mind so much water on the leaves, but I'm still careful, and let me show you what to do. See? Just gently. Whereas the big ones in the bath, I can be a little bit more robust when I'm watering them, but this one I can't. And I'll pump again. I tell you what, you get a workout with this pump. Right, now here we go. This is a different one again. This is your little Phalaenopsis parisiae. It's got those aero roots there, and it's got roots here. And this one you have to be careful with again, because it's a species one. So what I do with this one, gently does it. There we go. You might see a little bit of water. But this one hangs that way, so I'm not usually too worried. But what I like to do with this one is tilt it there, and then those little roots there, I just gently. See? And sometimes if I think there's a little bit of water right down there, if I can't get it out of the crown with this, oh sorry about that, if I can't get it out of the crown with some toilet paper, what I usually do then is blow at it. But we mustn't get any water at all down in that crown. little bit on that back root there. So, and sometimes I have to do this before I go to work in the morning, but it's something that has to be done. It's not something that I can rush. This one, this is the lamelatum, and I'll show you with the other lamelatum in a minute. Right, actually I could sit down here and just show them you. I don't know why I'm struggling here. Okay, so this is this one. There we go. Now I know with this one I can actually water right inside there, and if I turn it this way, and you see, let's have a look for you, I can actually water it just at the back there. There we go. Now I'm going to bring it, now this is the lamelatum. I've got water on the lens, just let me wipe that out. Dear me. Oh, sorry about that. Right, now if I bring down, this is the pseudo-lamelatum. Now the pseudo-lamelatum is more sensitive than the lamelatum, and the reason being, when it sends out a new growth, if you get water on that, then it will, there's that new growth there, it just aborts it. It's like any dendrobium, and there's nothing you can do. So with this one, I have to be ever so careful. You see the roots here and the roots there. So let's pump up again. What I have to do with this one is just gently water down like that. And you see what I'm doing? Just water down. And then to get underneath here for these roots here, if it'll allow me to do it, because there are roots down here, can you see them? And we've got that new growth there. So it's like a balancing act, this is. I just have to gently, just gently, ever so gently. There we go. And that's usually fine, that one. And I've just got one more to show you here. I usually hang that one up, and I hang it up there. And I've just got one more to show you now, and this is the little, that one. And this is another species one. And this is that deciduous one. And I seem to be, I mean the leaves are fine, and it's not aborted a leaf this winter at all. But I've got a dried up root there. Although there is another root underneath here, and there's that root there, and likewise again with this one. Bear with me. Now I'm not going to feed any of these today because there's no need. But here we go again, you see. Let's just show you. Not too much. Can't drown them. And if I go over to the bathtub now, and if it'll let me, without throwing you out of focus. I get a little bit of pressure on here because otherwise it won't last long. Right, so bear with me. And I'm down here now. Sorry about that. This is the plica tile, and that's all I do with that one. Don't do anything else. It's a big plant, and in fact sometimes I will just, with these big ones, and especially like with the Orchids, because you've got that big root coming through there. Can you see that big root? And I just water the leaves. Got a couple of those little dendrobiums down there. I let the spray water them, and as I pick them up I shake them. And this is the, bear with me, my little other pump. I don't have any trouble with this one. It doesn't seem to have pressure for long, and I don't know why. It's probably me. I'm usually useless when it comes to things like this. But there we go. This is the Orchids. Push that back. See, the pressure of the pump just wants to. But that's how I do that one. This is the Orchoglossum. You see? So these on here, these are what I call my big ones. You see the Phalaenopsis, I just spray, I don't have to worry. That is always pointed downwards anyway, so I have to actually let the water run through this Orchoglossum. It's got quite big roots, and it does like a lot of water. This is a little Phalaenopsis here. I'm careful with this one. That's that other little Cattleya there. And you see that little Cattleya there. I'm just gently watering that, and also just the roots on this little Phalaenopsis here. And like I say, it's quite time consuming watering your mounts. It's not something you know, you can do quickly, and because I've got so many, that's the plica tile, I don't have to worry with that one. And because I've got so many, the other big Cattleyas, the LC and the Pamela Hetherington, I have to bring them in separately. Now these will all stay in here now for about 20 minutes. See, with this one here, this little Dendrobium primulinum, I water the leaves as well. And yeah. Oh, this one over here. Let me water this one. This is the other little cutting of the, not cutting, the other little piece of the pendulum. And I just gently water that one. So, just bear with me a minute now. Right, I've just brought you back into the grow room, and the humidifier's pumping it out. It's 61% humidity in here. Yesterday, this is the Crew Momentum. I've watered that yesterday, and that's got new growths coming through. There's another one here which I've watered, and this is Dendrobium a day. Can you see that new growth there? And absolutely everything at the moment seems to be in active growth. This one is the Hilda Poxon, and there's that new leaf there. That's just nipped up in between those two, and that was watered yesterday. The Procatavolia was. Can you see there? This is one of those Dendrobium Phalaenopsis, and I'm frightened of watering that now because of course the other one, on the other side, it rotted. Those two new growths, and one of the new growths was bigger than that. So it's a fine line between getting it right and getting it wrong. And what can you do? It's really the heat in the sun. It's marvellous now. It's warming everything up, and everything's responding in the grow room. So it's a case of having to check these mounts every day, and if I bring you gently over here, and water them if necessary. That's little Zorro, and those roots are nicely hydrated. This of course is the Phalaenopsis Chia E Yenlin. That one's just flopped a bit this morning. Well, what can we do? We'll just have to keep our fingers crossed. So that's all I do as far as watering the mounts, and it's very, very time consuming. Well, orchids are time consuming. The mounts take a lot more work than the pots. And why? Because as the weathers warm up, the temperatures rise and everything dries out that much quicker. Just looking at that now, you see. Then that will be watered shortly. And so thank you for joining me. It's just a little overview of how I actually water my mounts, and that job has to be done every day or every other day. If I can get away with it, I try and do it. Because I've got so many mounts now, I'll do the window mounts one day and the little mounts on the other side another day. But sometimes, if it's too warm, I have to do both of them every day. And so thank you for joining me. I don't know whether this will have helped anybody, but it just shows you how I water my mounts. And if you're a new subscriber to my channel, thank you very much for joining me, and I do welcome all new subscribers. Just leave me a comment and I'll subscribe back, and I'll love you and leave you. Take care. Bye bye now.